let's go ahead and cover the latest breaking news in the world of print on demand. And first, we're going to check in with our friends over at Etsy. They had a recent fireside chat with their audience, and they made some pretty cool announcements. First of all, they announced that they will be will be able to appeal the removal of specific listings on a listing by listing basis rather than at the store level. Now, this is a major improvement over that process of how Etsy has worked over the years. Previously, they just shut you down. You'd have to go through the appeal process. But now, only the affected listing will be in question, and you can appeal only just that listing. I think that's absolutely wonderful. And then also, they put out their recent Ultimate Guide to Etsy policy. We're going to pop in a link to that if you haven't seen it. Go ahead and check that out. A lot of news coming from Etsy.
You should always be reading Etsy's policies. Whether you're total newbie, you should definitely especially be reading them. But even if you've been on Etsy for a while, they're kind of always tweaking, updating. Give it a read through at least, once a year.
There you go. Always a good thing to stay on top of what the various sales channels are up to. And speaking of sales channels, our friends over at Shopify just put out their Shopify Editions 2025 for the summer. Now, this is something that they do twice a year. They do a winter version of this. They do a summer version of this. And it's basically all the updates you need to be aware of on the Shopify platform, a little bit about the e-commerce ecosystem in which we all exist in. And it's a really interesting read. And what's so cool about this is the way they present it. It's such a dynamic presentation. Like any description I give you won't do it justice. Do yourself a favor, click on the link, check it out. It's really cool. They've got some really awesome designers that put this together. And even if you're not on Shopify, it's a really interesting read because Shopify, the leader in the business, anything that happens on the Shopify platform is going to have an impact in the wider sphere. So it's important to stay on top of that.
Yeah, I was browsing through earlier, and I don't sell on Shopify. I'm more an Etsy person, but there's still, again, like you said, it was really cool. Yeah. It was really inspiring. If you're not selling on Shopify, there's still a lot of juicy updates, and I think it's a lot of stuff, too, that you're going to see grow within the e-commerce industry as well. So definitely check it out.
Definitely check it out. And staying with our friends over at Shopify, now I wanted to highlight this article that they put out recently about brand purpose, because it aligns a lot with what we're going to be talking about today about the value proposal of your products and things like that. So this is a very interesting read that I encourage you all to check out, because it's about improving and having a purpose for your brand beyond just wanting to sell and really making some waves in your targeted niche. So go ahead and check that out as well.
Yeah, it's about kind of creating that emotional connection. And you'll see they mention a lot of big name brands like as examples that are really cool. And they give really nice examples. Now, of course, with your brand purpose, you don't have to go trying to save the world like some of these big corporations, but start local, start with whatever your values are.
Exactly. And it'll make a lot more sense once we get into the meat and potatoes of today's discussion. But let's shift gear a little bit and talk about the trends. Now, what I've done here is I've selected some trending products. Now, what I did was I eliminated the tried and true winners that are always at the top of the heap, your t-shirts, your sweatshirts, hoodies, mugs, posters and canvases, kiss cut stickers and things like that. And I look for the outliers, like what's climbing the charts. And that's what I've assembled for you folks today. A couple of interesting things. Racerback tanks are selling very well. Traditionally, those always peak in about mid to late June. So you got a little bit of time to capitalize on those. Car magnets making their returns. Journals still selling strong. But the most interesting one is the infant fine jersey bodysuit. Now, Leah, what do you have for us on that? What's your theory?
My theory is that it's Mother's Day just happened and Father's Day is just around the corner. So I think a lot of times if you have like a first time mother, father, or like a new baby, they're going to want a little onesie for it.
There you go. Sounds plausible to me. But take that for what it's worth, folks. Staying with trends, let's check in again with our friends over at Etsy. And I've just went through Etsy's trend report and pulled off the currently most trending keywords on Etsy right now, and not a lot of surprises here. I'm happy to see that vintage climbed up into the into the top of the leaderboard again. That's always a super popular keyword on Etsy. There's some stuff for dad. Wall decor, very surprising that that's on the top of the list because pre-pandemic, wall decor was never this popular in our sphere. But ever since the pandemic, it's just been a massively exploding area of our industry, and especially on Etsy. Okay, and then to round off the list, we've got Coach again. Now, if you've watched our show before, you'll see the word Coach pop up in our trend report every once in a while at the end of sports seasons, at the beginning of new ones. So I see this as a rapidly emerging, very dynamic niche within the Etsy sphere.
Is anybody selling the Coach niche out there? Let us know in the chat. We're also kind of curious, like, what's the ups and downs there? Is it just sports coaches, like school coaches? Is it fitness coaches, life coaches?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, because this kind of came as a surprise to me when it first started to emerge. But it's you can almost bet on it now. So if this is something you were thinking about targeting, I'm pretty sure this is underserved at the moment. So something to think about, folks. And here's what to keep an eye on, folks. Now, we got this stuff from our 2025 marketing calendar. We'll pop that link into the chat. It's also in the description. But these are the events on the print-on-demand horizon that you should all be aware of and try and target. Now, Father's Day coming up just around the corner. Like, technically, I think you still have some time to capitalize on this and have those orders arrive by Father's Day. I mean, you're like cutting it super, super close. But like summer solstice and World Yoga Day, and then the big one, 4th of July, just right around the corner. Okay. And then we get into the thick of the summer season. But what's interesting about our e-commerce calendar is it gives you all those little holidays that everybody seems to forget about, like in between the World Oak Tree Day and things like that. It's stuff that you would never really be top of mind. But if it applies to your particular niche, it's a great opportunity for you to create a design and really and have an excuse to reach out to your audience.
I'm going to argue, even if it does not apply to your niche, you can still use these little holidays as an opportunity to promote on social media. Yes. Even just wishing a happy World Oak Day. If you're not in the tree niche, maybe try to capture the attention of a slightly different audience.
Tree niche. Well, that might be an underserved niche as well. The tree niche. I like it. All right, so let's take a look at ourselves over here at Printify and what's new with us. Folks, a couple of announcements for you. First of which is embroidery. Now you can create text designs for embroidery right in our product creator. This is an amazing development, making the whole process a lot easier, super fun to play around with. And this is just part of our commitment to making the embroidery experience a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more user-friendly. And there's going to be a lot more to come with this in the future, so stay tuned. And then Printify Choice is now, the Printify Choice upgrade rather, is available for TikTok and Amazon orders. Previously limited to Etsy and Shopify, this is part of our expansion plan to bring Printify Choice and its advantages to more sales channels. So we got a lot more sales channels to go, but we're kind of working our way up, and now you can use it on Amazon and on TikTok. I think that's pretty cool. And here's a great opportunity for me to invite you folks that are watching either live or watching on replay to join me for a live Q&A session. I do them twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, and they're hosted on the Sellers Club. If you're not familiar with the Sellers Club, well, you should be, because that's where the action is happening. It's a great community filled with like-minded sellers just like you. And if you join the Sellers Club, you can have access to super awesome courses, live events. There's all sorts of contests and things and mentorship programs where you can connect one-on-one with like real successful print-on-demand sellers and experts in their fields. And you can join me for free. Anybody, you don't even need to be a paid member to join me for my live Q&A sessions that I do live from my home studio. Come sit down with me. Let's talk about the things that you want to talk about. And please allow me to play a very small role in your success. And that's Mondays and Wednesdays, completely free. We're going to pop in the link to that into the chat. And if you do want to join the Sellers Club, use the code JOINSELLERS2025 to get a free month.